Hey, match video for 2025 Vortex Shootout. This is a match I've shot for a few years, and this year it moved from the wonderful Reveille Peak Ranch near Austin to the new venue, Gravestone Precision Shooting Complex. I think it's called, just outside of Fort Worth, Texas. I think that the change of venue made some people a little hesitant to come out and shoot this year's match, but bottom line up front, I think this match is still really phenomenal. This was easily my favorite match of the year. For context, this year I shot Florida Multigun 3-gun, Crate Tactical Winter War 3-gun, the Dissident Shotgun Championship, Rocky Mountain 3-gun, Goat PCSL 2-gun Nationals, Marauders Multigun, and this. Reflecting on the year, there were a lot of highlights, and while there were some hiccups at this year's Vortex Shootout, the stages and the challenges presented by the match were really the kinds of challenges I like shooting, which is why I liked this match most of all. This range, Gravestone, is probably most well known for hosting great long-range precision rifles series matches, so PRS matches, and a little of that flavor colored this multi-gun match. And the differentiator for this is that it did prominently feature more long-range rifle or difficult rifle. I'll talk about those when they come up later. So once again, I'm shooting a 2-gun division at this 3-gun match because I fly to this match and it's one less gun makes it a lot easier logistically. This match generally had the philosophy of if it was safe to engage a target with a firearm, it was generally allowed, and that presented some options to people shooting multi-gun or PCC divisions especially, but in 2-gun sometimes you were shooting a match that was a bit dissimilar to what the other competitors were doing. I don't consider that a bad thing, it's just a side effect of the division. Anyways, this is a 2-day, 8-stage match, and day 1 we shot all bay stages. I was really sloppy on stage 1, which just finished up there, especially with handgun at the beginning, which led to more reloads than I planned for, and I tagged a no-shoot with rifle, which also kind of sucked. Then in stage 2 here, I really liked my stage plan, and I thought I did it really well, but I accidentally left one target unshot at the very end because I was just concentrated on a different target and moved right on past it visually. So both of these first stages, I made some mistakes. Stage 3 started with a pretty long handgun stage, basically a full stage, before you ran and got all out of breath to shoot a rifle section in the next bay over. 2-gun is basically open division for this match, so I was able to use some rifle supporting stuff for one target. You'll see that in the next bay. One cool thing about the stage is that, in addition, well, first of all, the pistol portion, genuinely, it's a lot of stage plan to hold in your head. I think I double shot some targets. But another cool thing is that the rifle steel we had to shoot in the next bay was actually very small. I believe there was a 2 or maybe 3-inch target hanging out there, and the other rifle steel was not large. This is an example of a target that's literally illegal in PCSL 2-gun rules because it's too small. They have an 8 MOA minimum target size, and I think that's too bad because with being out of breath and hitting a very small shot like that is a challenge that I really enjoyed.
No! He needs to slow the fuck down.
Stage 4, it's getting real dim out. The phone brightens it up a little bit, but you'll also notice there's a little bit of muzzle flashes showing here. It was genuinely, sun was going down. You start with some rifle. You have to shoot from inside the car, which for those of us who chose to bring 20-inch rifles to this event was a little bit challenging. And then you get out and shoot a little bit more rifle. And I'll mention this, I had actually miscounted the number of targets on this stage. I brought a 30-round mag for like 28 required shots. I didn't realize I had done that. I had when they made my gun empty, they were like, you finish with nothing in the mag, right? And I was like, oh, I didn't count that right. Anyway, then you go run up and, in my case, finish up everything else with a pistol. This one went pretty well for me. Yeah. Stage 5 was the first stage of the next morning. We actually had a bit of a weather delay until we waited for fog and weather to clear up. Real quick, this stage starts with pistol for 2 gunners and then goes to rifle and then goes back to pistol. I think it's fairly self-explanatory. You'll see me shoot it. The only other thing I wanted to mention here is that unfortunately, due to weather, a few of our shooters, like 3 of the shooters on my squad, had a really hard time on this stage because the fog was extreme. You could not see, 35 yards ahead of you at all. You could not see the targets. I am being genuine and honest here with the way the light and the fog was. I feel like they should have gotten a reshoot. I don't know if they had asked if they would have gotten a reshoot, but we were trying to skip to a schedule. I think they felt pressured to not ask for a reshoot. I feel kind of bad. One thing I'll make a note of here is that the weather was pretty challenging and for a lot of the match, and perhaps that could have been handled differently. I feel for him. That's what I'm trying to say. Stage 6 is a straight-up stand-and-deliver style rifle stage with targets at, from left to right, 480, 460, 600, 570, 470, 670, 520, 520 again, 460, 400, 380, 500, and 700 yards. I'll throw up my wrist card on these long-range stages in case you're curious, so you can see what I was working off of. So what I did really bad here, and I'll try to explain why. I tried to shoot the stage in yards with my scope reference, as you saw on the card. So with my scope, which doesn't have marked drop stadium, this means that I have to keep it on 8x, find the right target, check my yardage, check where the hold was, then go back to my scope, make sure I'm back on target before making my hold, and then I send the shot. This was different than what I'd done in the past, where my plan was to write something down like big bar 1 or little bar 3 to describe where my hold was. And the reason I didn't do that here is kind of because when I shot some PRS style stages in practice with fewer targets on them, I found I didn't really need that shorthand as much. However, the issue here is with this many targets on the stage, I really struggled to get myself sorted out quickly. And on top of that, between shots, I held wrong once or twice because I wasn't holding the idea of little bar 2 in my head. I was holding the idea of like 520 yards in my head, and that wasn't translating well. I'm super disappointed with how I did on this stage. And I never believe in blaming your gear. I do think that a different reticle here would have made this stage easier to approach. However, I really want to give credit to the match director, Jeremy, for this stage, because you'll notice all the distances are not round numbers. A lot of matches and ranges that host matches only allow shooters to shoot at known distance ranges for stages like this, and that means you're shooting at one of their pre-existing long-range bays, shooting at even number ranges like 100, 150, 200, 250, and so on. All those ranges were 20 to 30 yards off of a round number, and that messes with competitors and makes it more of a fun challenge. Stage 7 starts with some handgun, just kind of out in the open, pretty quick and simple before you run into a bus prop, kind of find your place on a ladder and shoot some targets between like 270 and 400. Technically, someone told me that these were because of the size of these targets, these were technically the hardest rifle shots of the match. I didn't actually verify that. You can see my wrist card here. This stage went pretty smoothly. I made sure to keep my scope on 8 power, and I knew my holds here. This was less targets to kind of keep in your head, so it went a little bit smoother than stage 6. More story time for Stage 8. So Stage 8 starts with some aerial clays with pistol. I did miss one, but I got the other. I still think that this is a really fun target whenever it's safe to be able to do this. Then two gunners have to shoot a variety of full-size targets 3 times each at a range of, I think, that goes out to 110 or 120 yards. I had some poor trigger control there, and that's the only reason I can offer as to why I missed some of those as often as I did. Usually I'm a bit better than that, but it's getting a little excited. Then I run to my rifle and shoot targets from 460 to 600 yards, and some stuff goes wrong. So I learned from Stage 6. I wrote what my little bar or big bar or whatever hold should have been on my wrist card. As you'll see, I'll flash it up. But either when I set my rifle down or when I picked it up or something like that, I had inadvertently bumped my scope's magnification throw lever from 8x to like 6.5. I didn't notice when looking through the scope, but because this is a second focal plane scope, this means I was holding too high or over holding for all of these targets, and I was missing high. And that was really confusing me. I got calls on the clock. This match does allow for coaching, and made some corrections and figured it out. But again, this was a huge struggle bus for me, and I didn't realize why until I was walking off the stage and looked down at my rifle. I'm not going to lie, having difficulties like that twice with the same piece of equipment inspires a lot of hatred. Yeah, a lot. Anyways, this was by far my worst stage of the match. Had this one and or Stage 6 gone better, I might have won 2-gun division. But it didn't, and I didn't. Closing thoughts. I did have a great time at this match. If you take nothing else from this video, it's this. If you're a shooter from the area or you travel from matches or anything else like that, please give this match a shot next year. I really love it, and I want to see it succeed. You can shoot this match in a huge number of divisions if traditional 3-gun isn't your thing, and taken from someone who's shot a lot of local and national matches in a variety of disciplines this year, this one is a good time. Adam Reiser, the match winner, had his match videos up here on YouTube if you want to see what its match would look like if like a good shooter shot it. Anyway, I got nothing else. Have a good one. Bye.